Alright, this is a short demo for how to navigate in a 3D PDF of the roadway model. I'll highlight a few key ways to navigate. Number one is the save views. There are a number of different canned views here, one at each major intersection along State Trunk Highway 100. Another way you can change your display is by how it's rendering. So I've got by default the transparent is set, but you could also use solid wireframe, and you can see how that affects the different views. You can play around with that. There is a model tree, and this is the icon for toggling the model tree. It'll pull up to your left, and there are essentially folders for each of the major components. And if you can watch the view to the right, by opting to select various components, it'll just display those. You can drill down in them, and under the references subfolder, you can see the file names, and so the S_LP_MDL is for the final design lighting, and then you can see here by virtue of the temp in the name, that's the temporary lighting. And so the question came up this morning in the meeting, and we do in fact have models for the temporary lighting and signals. Another question came up in the meeting regarding storm sewer structures, and I was able to put the pipe or structure ID into the file, so we can now query that information. So as you can see, I've highlighted a pipe, and in the model tree view it will automatically select the geometry that I have selected, and you can see that's associated with pipe P391. So likewise, if I select on the adjacent structure, and now you can see what's highlighted as inlet S391. So that's how you'll be able to find out what structure number. If I turn everything back on, and I'll go back to a transparent view, there is also a canned animation. It works rather slowly, but you'll be able to navigate around. So if I hit play on this button, it's basically just going to be a driver's perspective 6 feet above the finish grade from the south end to the north end of the project. At any time you can pause the animation, and I'm going to do so now. Pause it, and right now I've got my rotate tool up, so with my mouse wheel I can just zoom out a little bit, and if I select someplace on the screen and just move my mouse, it'll rotate around. And I'm going to turn off a few components. So if I'm just interested in seeing proposed storm sewer, let's say, and landscaping, you can see which pipe is near this tree. So I'm going to select on this pipe, and you can see that's pipe P147 that's near this tree. The same thing will work if you select any elements. So for instance, I selected this part of the tree here, and if I scroll up, you can see that piece of geometry is associated with the P_land_planting level that's associated with this model file. So if you're wondering what element something is, so for instance, I'm going to click on this element here to highlight it, and you can see that that is on the existing fiber optic level. And if I scroll up a little bit more, you can see that that's associated with the existing utilities